Hey, welcome back to Brad Fab Garage. The cool front's here, and it is no longer 105. It is 74 degrees out here tonight, and it's time to get something done. What we're gonna do, we're gonna start playing with this cab. Went by and got some hardware, and we're gonna start bolting the back of these panels together. Okay, I think I'm gonna start by getting this back of the cab put together first. Then we'll get the cab corners on it. And then we'll have something to work with. We'll see what we need to do with the doors. Like I said, this cab's sat around for a while. The hinge plate that holds this together and the cab is starting to come apart, so we're gonna have to beef this up and make sure that everything is attached in here. Someone has done some custom fab work already on this thing, so we've got to make some repairs. It doesn't look like they might have did something there. I don't think that piece of flat plate right there is original, so I'll fix that. Someone did a heck of a job welding that one on. But this wood, as you can see, this thing, here's all these little nails that used to hold this wood in. This is the dash plate. So we've got to get this up and get that back into there. So there's a lot of little things that has to be done before we can even get this together. Like I said, all of the wood structure is just old. I mean, this is a 34 model, but this thing actually had wood across the top here, all the way around this, on both sides, inside and below the doors. So there's a lot that we're gonna have to do to get this thing built. You know, you don't want to be running down the road here and that. So we've got a little work to do, but it's time to get started. All the holes in these are countersunk. So we got some countersunk, just flatheads, and these are steel. These are not stainless. So I'm hoping won't take too long to rust. But they'll set flush inside these and keep this together. And like I said, hopefully we can either vinegar them or something like that to make them to rust up. That way they're not standing out like a sore thumb on a piece of rusty metal. In the top of these panels are all the little holes that I was talking about. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3. Just that all this is, there was wood built all around this and all the way around this, even from the bottom of the window seal into here. Those all nailed to wood, all the way around here to here, and then wood all the way down inside this jamb. Lucky for me, I bought 14,000 vice grips whenever I was putting the floors back in the Camaro, so we can kind of throw something together here and just see what it looks like. I think somebody's saying goodnight. Now, we're starting to look like a truck. Getting somewhere, aren't we? The cool thing is the roof, I have that out in the back of the bed. And it has brackets that actually rest on top of this. So who actually ever put these bars in there actually did an alright job, because they've actually bent them to the contour of the body. Now they can't weld, but they did get those bent properly. So I'm gonna get the roof. Okay. Now I gotta figure out how to do this without falling on everything. Always a way, used to do it on my own. This is so unstable right now. If I don't drop something, I'm gonna be surprised. Now we really look like a truck. She got a little angry to it, doesn't it? Alright, well I think I'm gonna go getting some AC and get up early and see where we're at in the morning. So we're gonna start back on the truck cab again on the 34. We've got it somewhat assembled the other day. Today we're gonna go through and pull the top back off. Because like I said, I just put it on there to get a visual. I wanted to see it again before, before we got too crazy with it. Just kind of one of those, hey, it's in one piece again. We're going to take this thing back apart and get everything lined up and start doing some floor structure. It's going to be kind of hard to video because this thing is so small. But I'm sure we can get an angle here or there, try and make us fit inside that thing. So. But once we get this thing having back to being a little bit more rigid, so it's not so floppy, then we'll put it on a chassis table. But here we go. Okay, we're gonna try and get this door lined. I can see that the old hinges are bent here and a little bit here. Top one looks okay. So yeah, we're gonna have to pound on this one a little bit, try and get it straightened out. Get the big buddy hammer out. That hinge, hang our doors up. The original hinges, all of them still playing fair. I think that'll help it shut all the way now. Just binding up on this sheet metal in here. I like to get that wrinkle out of the door. It's got a wrinkle right here. I think we'll dolly that out real quick. Straighten that out. That's it. Got a big divot right there, if you can see it or not. Get into it this way. It's a bit too short. Alright, now that that's straightened out, we'll see if it did anything or not. Good thing about it is these doors aren't heavy. Hinges are sure working good now. It'll hold them good. Okay, before I get too carried away, most important thing on getting the vehicle square is having something solid to go off of. And the firewall is the only thing that I have that is solid, not bent, and straight. You can tell by the pictures that everything that bolts together. You can't line anything up if you don't have something square first. We're going to fix this. This has to follow the contour of the dash up here on the cowl so that the dash fits over the top of it and sits down. So I'm going to clean this stuff up and get all the years and years and years of rust off of it so that I can weld it. And this will give us a start. Okay, we've got this piece. Going to have to sit inside that A-pillar. Like that. And make that flush where they gobbled that one up. Let's see if we can make this stick. This blue piece across the dash sits there. And this actually goes over the wood and into the metal. I don't know why they put wood there, because I think it just spaces this out, I guess. But this actually overlaps the metal on the front side and sandwiches it between there. So let's see if it fits. Okay. That, and I have more work to do. The way I recessed that plate there, you can't see it. And over here, I like it, right? They did that, you can see that. I don't like it. It needs to sit flush the way that sits flush. So now I need to cut out that mess and fix that. All right, that side's cleaned up, and we're gonna make this side right. And matching this one. It actually looks like when they put that on the face of that, they pushed that side of the cab out like over almost 1/4 of an inch, because they had this welded on top of that stacked onto that. This should be welded, basically should be hot still. That should be flush with this, and it's not. It was pushed out quite a bit, so we're going to fix that. Okay, dash fits like a dream. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to move up to the top of the A-pillars where the roof mounts on both sides. And now that this is squared, we're going to start here, work our way all to the back, and then we'll set our door gaps and stuff like that by moving the back of the cab in and out so that everything looks like it should. I mean, it's never going to be perfect, but here you just have to make it fit and make it look right, and you're there. So there is no right or wrong. You just make it the way you needed it and make it to where it fits. So, all right, on to the next step. Okay, one more thing I got to do before I start on the A-pillars. I kind of got ahead of myself. I need to clean up all of these edges. I've got some damage here that got hung up on something, and somebody jerked on it and rolled the window seal up. There's a lot of bolt holes through here too that are broke out. The top of the roof was bolted to here. It rises up, it sits on top of the door seals, and this just ties the front to the back. And so we want all this strong. I don't want it going down the road doing this number. Then we'll set the roof back on here. We'll bolt it down here, and then we'll work on bolting it to the A-pillars. And then once we have that done, then we can start working on floor supports. So now I got to get out Got it. I would just make this removable. Okay, I'm going to start by bolting the front on, and then we'll work our way to the back, start lining it all up, see if we can make it fit. One more thing I'm going to show you before I start with the top. I need to get a door gap here. So to keep it simple, I just took a yardstick and cut it into pieces, and I'm going to set it between the inner lips so that I get my space here. And that'll keep everything true here. We'll clamp the body line straight, and then we'll keep it together that way. So, me climbing here again. I'm getting all my exercise in, just climbing in and out of this thing, Dukes of Hazzard style. I'm excited when I can open doors permanently. Okay, we'll start on the top since I've already got it up here. We'll try a single paint stick first. Let's see how it likes it. I think one of these paint sticks may be too much. We may have to go down to something thinner. Yeah, those paint sticks are going to be too thick. I'm going to have to get a yardstick. I'm going to have to get a paint stick. I probably only need maybe 1/8 of an inch. That's more than 3/16. So I need to find paint sticks. Alright, so we're going from almost in half of what that is. Like I said, this probably is 3/16, and this is about an 1/8, give or take. So we'll see if we can get this to fit in here. Start this wrestling match all over again. Edge, now I need to climb out again. Okay. Get you off here. All right, now that I've got that board in there, that gives us a nice, clean, straight body line here on this door. So we're gonna keep that in there. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Once we get that in there, that gives us just a nice, smooth 1/8 inch, maybe a little bit thicker gap. And over here, we got the same gap all the way down. It gets a little tight here, but the door, I've only got 2 pieces, I think, clamped into that one. So that's just adding some more clamps. The roof is bolted on. We've got all that tacked down. I think there's 1 or 2 still I might need to tighten up a little bit. The front handles up here on the A-pillar are bolted down and secured. So the cab is almost together. I think what I'm going to do next, I'm going to have to cut out that piece of square tubing that they put right there and go through and build some brackets for the back of the cab. And then I'm going to connect the cab across through there, and that'll be able to start from my floor. I'll probably do that in 1 inch. Some of the braces on the floor I'm going to use 2 inch, and then leave room for the tranny tunnel and stuff like that, because we'll probably set this one pretty low and have a drive shaft and transmission coming through it pretty beefy. So there's even rumor that 468 is going to come out of this whenever I turbo that one. That may go in this truck. So that would be a lot for a very lightweight truck. So, but anyway, that's where we're going with that. So I'm going to cut some square tubing and start tying the front and the back of this cab together so we can get it solid. So we're getting close. Okay, so we go across from here to here. We'll get from about right there. So that's going to be 44 inches across. So let's cut 2 pieces. 4 times 2. Alright, got some scrap left over from the ranch rat. We're going to do 2 inches right there. Try by this full length. Oh, it's time for another square. This one is getting eat up. Straight edge here. Okay, we've got our square tubing cut for our side rails. So we're going to size these up here in a second. I've also got some plates cut and welded on the body supports right here and on the other side. Just to, we have an echo. Echo! Cab's getting filled up, we got an echo in here. So I'm going to tack weld these braces in. We will cut them a little bit long. So we will be able to come in and come into them like this, level those out, and start tying the front and the back together. This may be just a temporary, but I could easily make it into the floor also. And this will just get us some, get us a little beefier right now. So, all right, I'm gonna get these started real quick. Okay, I've got the cab squared. which it actually was really close. I'm surprised. I only had to just jiggle it around a little bit to get it to settle in. I'm gonna go ahead and tack in the floor bars, and we will have it pretty well squared. I probably will do that and put one crossbar into it just temporarily, just to keep it squared. And then we will work on back bar and start building the floor on it. So let's get that started real quick. See how level that actually is. Okay, we've got a 1 degree rise in the back, so I'm not worried about that. So not on this thing. It's actually getting pretty picky. I have to stop myself. I like to get everything pretty tight, and I just sometimes have to stop. See me trying to take my hood down. That one's tacked in good. A little confined in here, so I'm gonna tack this stuff up and I'll come show you what we've got done. Kind of hard to get all that in here. Okay, so now we've got some supports welded in. I've unclipped the doors so that we can actually get in and out of this thing now. So we just tied the front and the back and the sideways together. So the cab is square within an right at an eighth of an inch square. So now we have to work on this. Now the front to back is good. We have to work on getting all of this snugged up. So we're probably gonna do some bracing from, maybe from here into here first, and then work on a slight bend to follow the contour of this. So that's not a bad radius, so I think I can work with it pretty easy just by hand. Like I said, I planned on getting a 1-inch square tubing die from my Model 4 bender, and that way I can just drill bend everything I need. So I'm gonna see what the availability on that stuff. I'm hearing it's pretty hard to get right now. Okay, I changed my plan on what I was going to do on these B pillars. Instead of getting the bender right now, I don't weight very well, so we're going to do it the easy way. What I did is I just took the steel and pie cut it, and I've got my arch there. Now, one thing about doing this, and when you clamp it and fit your steel to your body panels, if you have to force your body panel in, you have to be careful about this, because if you go through and you start clamping this thing and you're pulling that sheet metal in one way or the other and it's not staying true to where you want it to be, bend this. Don't bend your sheet metal to it. Now these are pretty floppy right now, but I do have it almost perfect. One way to test it is when you clamp in the middle, check it all the way around and see what kind of fit you have. Because if you have one that you clamp lightly and then you go to take it off and it comes off really hard, there's too much pressure against that. You need to have this to where it fits it fairly well here, and then just do a couple small tack welds if you're going to weld it to it, or however you're going to. Obviously I'm going to have to weld this to it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean out behind these door seals and I'm going to weld it in here. So any of your burn marks are going to be inside of this jam and not out on the patina. So we're going to do this. I will duplicate it on the other side, and we'll clamp those in and go from there. Because once I get that in, then I can go through here and I can set my depth here, how far I need it from here to there to set the doors and all that kind of stuff. So just one more piece. Okay, so the rest of the floor supports are in. The cab is pretty straight. Now we can start working on getting the rest of this stuff done. I get some tubing picked up. What I'll do next, our side pieces going up the door frame are tacked in. They're good to go. We'll work on supports that connect to here across the roof rail, because I took out that wood, so we have all kinds of room there now. So it'll come through here and we're going to tie it to the A-pillar. This will keep the cab square. Everything is pretty solid, but there's just enough play in it that the doors don't want to lock solid. There's just not much to these things, and you just have to build it strong. So we're gonna do that starting next, but this will probably wrap this video up. There's gonna be a lot going on for this truck, so you just can't pack it all into one show, and I'm trying to keep everything within 30 minutes. That I have to go to the city this week and get some more tubing. Gotta start finding a chassis. So if anybody knows anybody around here that's got a Model A chassis or something like that, I'm gonna be hitting Marketplace up and digging through and trying to find something that I can kind of set this thing to. I don't really know where I want to go with it yet, but it'd be nice to have something just to set it on. So whether I make something quick or just find some kind of a roller chassis or something to work with. So there's a lot of ideas. I found a 38 chassis I think I may go look at. So we'll just have to see what come up. Don't really have much of a plan. It's just gonna go together as it goes together. So, all right guys, just remember to like and subscribe, and we'll keep it coming. See ya, bye.